Hi everyone and welcome to the third episode of the Competitive Programming Podcast. Today we have two guests for the first time and it's a duo you've seen many times on Code Forces, bringing you some of the highest quality content and tasks. Together they've won 5 IOI medals, including 3 golds. One of them just recently won the ICPC Challenge Championship in China. They've participated together in the ICPC World Finals, winning a bronze medal, and they've written already 4 IOI tasks, including 3 in the same year. It can only be the Yoneda brothers, Masataka and Hirotaka. On Code Forces you know them as E869120 and Square 1001. Welcome and thanks for giving us your time.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
First we usually start with kind of your competitive programming journeys. So how did you start programming and how did you start competing in programming?
Yes. First, I started programming when I entered junior high school, which is equivalent to 7th grade. So there was a club of programming and it was interesting to code in like C++ or C#.
Okay.
Then we know about Japanese Olympiad in informatics. So then we started complete programming.
And is this Japanese Olympiad very famous among the high school students or?
It was not very famous at my time, but now it's more famous.
And did you maybe compete in mathematics before that or?
Not really before, but we also participated in Math Olympiad in the same year.
Amazing, yeah. And did you start the same way?
Yes, I also started computer programming at 7th grader. And now we are on nearly 9 years from starting computer programming.
Yeah, amazing. And so how did your path to all of these victories come? So how did you have like some organized classes maybe in high school, or was it all you to prepare for the IOI?
For me, at the 7th grader, I entered the club, personal computer club, in my junior high school. In my junior high school, there was computer club, and in computer club, there are some people already went to GOI final or achieved the one of the top result in GOI final. So we studied computer programming in the computer club in the first year.
So you had someone to look up to, somebody that was already very good.
Yes.
And were they who was teaching you, or were they another student at the school?
Not every day, but some of the student we taught already good at computer programming in personal computer club is Riku Kawasaki, Marine RK.
Okay. Very famous names.
Which is current now at Code Admin.
Yeah, and I'll talk to him soon as well. So maybe you can explain to our audience kind of what it looks like to go to the IOI from Japan. So what are the stages and how do you proceed? Stages of the competition.
Okay. At 2015, there was 3 stages. Okay. Currently 4 stages, but at 2015, there are only 3 stages. The first stage is qualification round.
Okay.
Qualification round is for qualification round about 1,800 to 1,000 participate in qualification round, and about 100 will go to the final round.
Okay.
And for final round, only 20 participants go to the next round, and the final round is the spring camp. And about 20 participants participate in spring camp, and the spring camp will be held on 4 days. So it means that for each day 3 tasks, so there are 12 tasks. And top 4 student of 12 tasks will go to IOI.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a lot of very hard tasks. I think a lot of people participate in these spring camps, even internationally, and that I think often it's even harder than IOI, and maybe it has even nicer problems. So, so when did you first qualify for the spring camp, let's say?
I was first qualified when I was in 8th grade, but he was first qualified at 7th grade.
Oh wow! So
which is the first of his participation.
Amazing. So only 1 and 2 years after you even started programming.
About 5 months.
Wow. Yeah, that's incredible.
But the first final round was a kind of luck.
Oh, sometimes you need luck as well, but okay. And who qualified for the IOI first? It was you were at the same year, right?
Yes, same year. The year that we qualified for IOI first is 2018, which was held in Japan. And in 2018 IOI, since for IOI, normally only 4 participants can participate. However, since IOI 2018 is held on Japan, which is host country, 8 participants can participate. And in the spring camp, I got the 5th place and he got the 6th place. And we were able to participate in Japan 2 team.
Amazing. Yeah, and was that very useful to motivate you for the... Oh, even in that first year you won, right, gold and silver. It was how much time after you started practicing?
IOI was held on September 2018, so about 3 years.
Okay, so a bit more than 5 months, but still in IOI gold and silver in 3 years. That's amazing. And obviously you very often we see you together in the ICPC teams and even on the same blog posts and everything. And is there any kind of brotherly rivalry between you that maybe you push yourself, like, oh, I want to be better than Hirotaka, I want to be better than Masataka, and does that help you maybe?
Yes, it really helped. I think we get stronger because of each other. Because when each other we get a good result in programming contest or in practice, we will be motivated.
And does it get very competitive in Yoneda household?
Of course, it was competitive, but we had a feeling that we both wanted to succeed.
Yeah, and did you...
So, of course, we helped each other.
And do you practice together generally or alone, separately?
I think it depends. Sometimes we compete in virtual contests. Sometimes we do different practice. It's sometimes possible that one set virtual contest and another solves.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And do you compete in other stuff as well, like, or just competitive programming? I mean, between you two, is everything competitive between you two, or?
For competitive programming, we play together, but I think it's not for competing for different things. But of course, we live with each other, so we have a lot of relationship from when I was born.
Yeah, that's amazing. You're twins, right? You were... Okay, yeah, so I guess that's a very special bond. And I really believe you are one of the most dedicated contributors to the competitive programming world and on Code Forces. And I know that you're very active also in the Japanese Olympiad, preparing the competitions there. And there are many aspects of this I would like to discuss with you. But for now, like what I read, you started competing. You started contributing. Basically immediately as you started programming. You've been organizing your Square 869-120 contest since 7th grade, is that correct?
Yes, the first contest we held was this contest, Square 869-120 contest, which was held on January 2016, which was about 3 or 4 months from starting the competitive programming.
Wow. Yeah, and I think a lot of people like wait many years before they like prepare tasks and everything, and I think it's very.
But at 2016, holding a contest was much easier than currently.
Why do you think so?
Because currently there are many criteria to hold a contest.
And was it successful, your first contest?
So.
Okay.
but first contest I made a mistake on one problem, and which was the test case was variation was not correct
Okay.
in the first contest.
Yeah, I mean it happens, but yeah, for me it was like 3 or more years before I made my first task. So yeah, to have it in just 2 or 3 months, it's amazing. And what drove you kind of to create that first contest and in general to contribute? Yeah, maybe Hirotaka.
Yes, I don't think about using the word contribute for this contest because I think that when we do competitive programming, making problem is one of the dream.
Really? Well, I think it helps a lot of other people as well. I mean, without many great problems, it would be very hard to,
I
to
think
compete.
in the first contest, the problem was not so great because our skills of competitive programming was lower than, of course, now.
Yeah.
But for the second, third, and fourth contest, the problem quality became gradually better.
And from the third one, it was open internationally, right?
Yes, mainly because at Coda became internationalized at the time.
Okay. And you said maybe that first contest wasn't that great, but maybe later. So now we can talk about the previous few years. So obviously, if you go to the IOI website, you will see your names very often. In fact, it happens that in the last 3 years, you had 4 tasks. In 2023, you had 3 tasks just in 2023. So it was half of the contest was yours. And even you had a backup task this year, so that's kind of 5 IOI quality tasks in the last 3 years. I'm not sure if we have seen this before. And I've also set, I see that always it's 2 of you together, and I've also set some tasks like together with some people, but I'm interested, how does it look for you when you set a task together? Like, how does that dynamic work?
So it means that how did we make problem?
Yeah.
Actually, sometimes we make problem for one another alone, but for many of the good quality problem, we make problem together. For example, one person came up with the problem idea, and another person thinks about the n cubic solution, and another person come up with n square solution by using the n cubic solution, and finally the another person came up with n log n solution, which uses the idea of n square solution.
Yeah.
This kind of problem making method works very well. Actually, do you remember the soccer problem in IOI 2023?
Okay.
For soccer problem, I came up with the problem statement idea, and I came up with n cubic solution, which was about 70 points in IOI. However, I could not came up with n square solution. So he thinks for the solution and finally came up with. And then it was a decent difficulty problem, which is about 5 people in IOI solves. So I decided to publish proposing IOI.
Yeah, and did you expect that all 3 tasks would get accepted into the IOI, or did you think let's just get one at least?
Yeah, I never expected about 3 because I think it was very lucky, simply very lucky because all of them were used in shortlist and all of them are used in actual contest. I saw that all problem has possibility to get into the contest, but I didn't expect about all 3.
Yeah, and as far as I know on the IOI, they don't tell you if they're going to use the task until maybe day before or even the actual contest. So did you just open the contest and see that you had 2, I think it was 2 tasks on the first day and 1 on the second?
Yeah, this was a great experience.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that because IOI problem will be selected not only the problem quality but also the variety of the problem. Like for example, 6 dynamic programming problem in one IOI is not so good.
Yeah. And you got the chance to go through to the past 3 IOIs with your problem settings. So you went, where was it? So Egypt, Hungary, and Indonesia.
Yes.
Yeah. And which one did you like the most, maybe, to be a guest?
I think Hungary was the best because we have 3 problems.
Yeah. And
But of course, other 2 contests are very good because, especially for Indonesia one, I never participated in a foreign on-site contest before. So it was actually the first time. So I was not a contestant.
yeah, you went to the IOI when it was here in Japan and then when it was online, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that's very bad luck.
But he participated a lot of contests on-site contest after 2022, including the Huawei one.
Yeah. And you also went to the ICPC in, was it Luxor?
Yes.
Yeah, so we were together there, but I think you participated in the 47th one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you won a bronze, which was much better than us. Yeah, that's amazing. And you also contribute a lot to the Japanese Olympiads, right? So maybe do you know how many problems in a year do you actually make?
Including at quarter and other contests.
Yeah, let's say everything.
Maybe about 30 problems.
Wow, together.
Together.
Okay. And they're difficult problems. They're usually not easy. Maybe a few on at quarter, but...
Yes, but I also make easy problems, including JY.
Okay, and
at quarter regular contest. My at quarter regular contest is not so hard compared to other at quarter regular contest.
And should we expect you to also come to Bolivia in next year?
I don't know because I think that many people are keen to go to Bolivia because Bolivia is a very good place, which can almost never able to go. So I think that I expect that the competition rate or competition of the next IOI program selection will be hard.
Yeah, maybe, but you're, I think, definitely the favorites. But yeah, Bolivia is very far and very high, right? It's on a mountain, so it will be interesting. So yeah, apart from problem setting, you also do a lot of writing, especially Masataka. You've written a lot about preparing for competitions, both on Code Forces. You are kind of famous for maybe these 2 blog posts, how to go from 1000 to 2400 rating, and even more, maybe on a guide how to win IOI Gold. And Additionally, you wrote 3 books. We have it here. They're currently in Japanese, and some of them are also in Korean, and they can be bought in Taiwan as well. And so maybe we can go through them a bit. So this one is kind of a popular math book, right? It's high school math for 150 minutes. So it's maybe for everybody to learn a bit of math, right?
Yes.
Then we have again some mathematics algorithm. I think this is your most famous book, right?
Yes, most famous book and most sold book. About more than 30,000 copies in Japan.
Yeah, that's incredible, and it's more for software engineers kind of to learn the mathematical side of algorithms, right?
Yes.
Yeah, amazing. And the third one is the keys of competitive programming, right?
Yes, this is for many competitive programmers.
Yeah. So this one is for the community, and it's incredible. It's
over 300 figures.
Yeah, and over 100,000 copies sold, right?
Yes.
That's a lot, and most of it is in Japan currently, right?
Currently, yes, but in the past, Takeya Akibas and other and Yoichi Wata and other many people write Antbook, which is a programming contest challenge book, which is called Antbook in Japan.
Okay.
Is sold more than my book.
Oh, there's time, and I'm sure. Are you writing something else right now, or another book?
Not really, because after 2023, I have there are a lot of contests to participate, including ICPC World Finals and some other foreign country contests. So we have to practice more.
Amazing, and yeah, these books, as you can see, they are not very thin. It's so many. It's actually very high quality. You can see a lot of figures, and obviously I cannot read it. But if it's half the quality in writing as the images, it's amazing. So this was all written in the past few years, right?
Yes. Mathematics and Algorithm book was published in the end of the Christmas day of 2021, and the computer programming book was published on September 2022, and the mathematics book was the latest one, which was published on July 2023.
And that's a lot of books to write in maybe 2 and 3 years. How much did you need to work on it, because this is really high quality?
For first 2 books, I am not so get used to writing book because especially the math algorithm book was the first book I wrote, so it took about 700 hours to write. But the third book, mathematics and mathematics in 115 minute book, it took only about 200 to 250 hours because the number of pages is not so much, and at that time I was already get used to writing book.
Yeah, that's still a lot of hours. And how did you decide at that point, like maybe I will dedicate more time to books and less to competitions?
That because I retired from the IOI because of the age limit. I think that most people know that for IOI only high school students and junior high school students can participate, and university students cannot participate. So 2020 was the last IOI chance, and 2021 now I cannot participate in IOI, and at that time I realized that because of many people, because of the cooperation of many people, I finally get able to get 3 gold. So now it's time to contribute to computer programming. So at March 2021, just a few days before entrance into the university, I started to make typical 90 problems. The problem set of typical 90 problem in AtCoder, which is only available in Japan. And it was solved by more than 4,000 people. And furthermore, I decided to write Japanese blogs and to explain more about algorithm. And finally, because of typical 90 problems and a blog in Japanese, I finally got the offer from publishers to write a book.
Amazing.
On April or May 2021. That's why I decided to write a book.
Yeah, that's amazing, and
I hope that it will be translated to English. But currently there is no offer from English publishers.
Yeah, and I think that would be very useful. Hopefully we'll get that translation at some point. But you still have one more road finals to participate, right?
Yes, but this year it is difficult because many other strong teams from the University of Tokyo participate in ICPC, and only one of the University of Tokyo team can participate in ICPC biofinals. So it's a not easy challenge.
And when is that qualification? Do you know?
Actually, qualification round was already finished, and I got the 11th place in Japan, which was a historic blunder. But although the blunder in the contest, I barely got qualified for regional contest. Barely means that only rank 2 or 3 drops mean fail.
And are you again participating together? Or?
Yes. But one of the team members was changed, and in this year, Kodaman, Daiki Kodaman, which got 3 IOI gold medal, participate in my team, our team.
So Hirotaka, you just recently won the ICPC Challenge Championship in China, and which was organized by Huawei. You won first place, which was incredible. In general, you do really well with these heuristic contests, and I know that you even have some of these challenge problems in your own contest, the Square 869-120 contest. I know that the last ones, they are usually challenge problems. So when did you find out that you really like doing these heuristic contests and that you're really good at them?
Yeah, when I was high school, I only did normal computer programming, which is algorithm contest. But when I became university student, in AtCoder, a new contest called AHC, AtCoder Heuristic Contest, was introduced. So I simply became interested in it. But it's not really for a short time because I never participated in like top coder marathon match or something. But when IOI 2021, which I did a leader, was finished, on the day there was AHC 004, and my brother suggested me to participate. But since I have not practiced anything, I didn't expect that much back. Successfully, I got 4th place, which is a miracle, which is considered miracle. So I started to participate in AHC since then.
And when you get, like, I think a lot of people don't really do much of these, and but even in IOI you have these like kind of challenge problems. So in general, like when you get a problem like this, a challenge problem, of course it depends like on the length and everything, but when you get a challenge problem, what do you do first? Like how do you approach it?
I think I know that it depends on people, but for me, I tend to do attacking strategy.
Okay.
So like in the first 10 minutes we write the simplest greedy algorithm or something like, and I tend to get at the 10 or 15 minutes I'm maybe in the top of the standings. But it's not only that, because knowing the performance of simple algorithm leads to a better solution or better overall idea.
So the first one is kind of the first thing that you can come up with, and then you try to improve it, right?
Yes, this is my strategy of recent contests.
And for me, at least, I also participated in this ICPC challenge. I did much worse than you. But my biggest issue, and maybe for viewers as well, is that you kind of have so many ideas in what direction to go, what to try, and so on. How do you decide, like, which one of these ideas I will try first?
I think for long contests, like ICPC challenge in code forces, we can try everything that we come up, because we have 2 weeks. But in short contests like HC is 4-hour contest, it doesn't seem like we can try everything. But for me, I try to do everything. So I sometimes believe that in the short 5 hours or some contest, we can try an easier solution which doesn't change much, like writing 1,000 lines of code. We can simply write like 200 lines of code and with simple algorithm. And sometimes it's for some using the key idea, it sometimes work, and it is generally in many short contests it is true. So in such idea, we can write the simplest one in like 1 hour for each idea. So in 4-hour contest, we can write 3 of them.
And do you think that here also then speed coding and things like this is really important, or no?
I think it's important, especially for short contests, because I don't know about other people's strategy much, because for me, I sometimes try several ideas, and in the last idea I write, I may get good score and win the contest.
Yeah. And do you prefer these longer ones or shorter ones?
I think both of them have good points. For the short one, it's important to come up with the good idea. For example, there are typical solutions like hill climbing, beam search, greedy algorithm, or maybe some DP or something else. But choosing the right way is the most important, I think.
And do you think that maybe either competitive programming helped you with these challenge problems, or challenge problems helped you more with competitive programming?
I think both helps each other. Of course, the normal competitive programming experience, especially for implementation skills, is I consider important. And since writing code for heuristic contests tend to be longer, like that in normal code forces contests, which only takes few tens of lines, it contains like 200 lines or even more in short contests, and thousands of lines is typical in long contests. So we can practice implementation skill and speeding up skill.
Yeah. And so you would recommend to our viewers that if they haven't tried these challenge heuristic contests, to try them?
Yes, we of course recommend.
Yeah, well, you heard the expert in these competitions, so I recommend that we all start doing more heuristic contests.
Yeah, and I think it's also interesting.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and to come back maybe to this preparation, which you talked about a lot during when you were both preparing for the IOI. I think Masataka wrote about his schedule during weekends. I think a lot of people thought it was incredible. I can read it now. So 4:45, wake up, 5 a.m. breakfast and warm up. Then you do the first virtual day of IOI, and then you have lunch. Then you review it. Then you do another day. Then you review that, and then you look at you do a Code Forces virtual, right? And this was like for a long time before the IOI.
Yes, I am also famous for practicing hard in Japan. Actually, in the Code Forces blog, I wrote that we did 2.5, maybe like 2.5 5-hour battles. 2.5 means 2 5-hour battle and 1 2-hour battle.
Yeah.
But aside from this, sometimes I do 10 hours battle continuously,
Wow.
which means that solving 6 or 7 difficult problems in 10 hours.
Yeah. That's tough. And did you also maybe similar to this practice or no?
I think he practiced more harder.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe hardest in the world because I don't think many people practice like this. And
But of course, in ICPC, we also, all of them need to practice.
are you doing something like this now or a bit more casual?
Actually, waking up time is late than when I was high school, but sometimes I do 4 or 5 2 or 3 hours contest in a day, or even doing 2 5-hour battle contests is pretty normal
Yeah.
for even for ICPC.
Yeah, and also you discussed a lot, maybe some things that people don't really think about, maybe like how to train focus during these long contests and like speed solving, and you used a lot of statistics to show like if you solve everything that at least 45 people solve at the IOI, you will probably get gold or be very close. And you discuss different strategies, and I think a lot of this is very interesting. This is something I as a coach also think a lot, and I don't think it's mentioned a lot in sports. It's much more like preparing for the day of the match, right? And I think it's an important topic, and you're one of the only people to really talk about it. So for both of you, how big of an impact maybe do you think this has, this strategy, conditioning kind of focus? And
I think we think more, we care more about strategies rather than the personal skill, especially for ICPC. We need both strategy for each person and strategy for entire team. For strategy for person, the strategy is to be like how to choose problem to solve or how to think is even a strategy, I think.
yeah,
And of course, team strategy also matters in ICPC because we have 5 hours to solve the problem for 3 people. So it's total 15 hours. But I realized that many team does not work well as like this for like one person solving 15 hours. So how to maximize the time
and
is
also
important aspect.
yeah, and also there is only one PC nowadays in ICPC, and
Yes, so one PC rule is that affects much for strategy because uh, only 5 hours can be used for implementation and debugging compared to 10 hours or more than 10 hours for if PC is not fully used for 5 hours for syncing. So for ICPC, the strategy for reducing implementation is also is very good, but to reduce implementation, personal implementation skill is also important. So I think that both strategy and personal skill are important, especially for implementation.
And what did I want to ask? And do you prefer this ICPC style maybe now more than IOI, or which one did you prefer?
It's a difficult question because since we are doing ICPC, it is natural to prefer ICPC because if we practice about it, we love about this.
But is it fun now to do it together? Like you don't have to compete one against the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The good point of ICPC is there are 3 people. It means that if one person cannot solve a problem, if other 2 people or even other 1 people solve, this problem will be solved. So it means that we have to, we don't in ICPC in ICPC for syncing, we don't have to be sure to solve easier problem. So it means that solving like code forces purple or blue problem for 99% probability is not so important. But solving LGM problem with 20% or 30% probability is important in ICPC.
Yeah.
This is the interesting point of ICPC.
Yeah. I think the strategy might be like the biggest difference actually, and also the pressure. I don't know if you like you kind of mentioned that like you have less pressure when there's 3 people. Like you don't necessarily need to do it. And about pressure, like one thing I wanted to ask, you wrote how to win IOI gold after 2 golds. Then you participated once more. Was there more pressure to kind of get that 3rd gold as well, or?
Yes, but recently I have more pressure than when I was participating in IO 2020 because I became much more famous than IO 2020 because of the book and some other contributions. So the pressure and nervousness is the biggest problem. Surely the biggest problem for me because in the last quarter round, I could not solve A fast because of the nervous. And because of this, my rating drops. So this is the most highest priority problem for me.
Yeah, and that's another like of these like kind of separate issues aside of strategy and stuff. This pressure, it's really hard to manage it, like when people kind of expect this from you. So I hope that you will learn to deal with this newfound fame. So do you maybe just have some final words for our viewers, kind of how to prepare in general, like, and how to maybe view this preparation, how to stay motivated, stuff like this?
Of course, it is important to remember how we enjoy complete drawing or how we are interested in complete drawing. We, of course, especially before the important contest, or of course, we became famous more than before, so we feel pressure. So we tend to forget about this. So, of course, it is important to remember the how we enjoy computer programming, or how we're interested in like solving a problem, or some thing in the root is the thing we need to value much more.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I agree, definitely. Thank you again for this interview. So, thank you. Again, do check out Masataka's books. They're on Amazon, right?
Yes. Yes, it is true.
Okay, are they also in some bookstores? Maybe they can find.
Yes, in Japan.
Okay.
Many bookstores sold these 3 books.
Amazing. So yeah, if you're in Japan, you maybe already know, maybe you already have these books. If you don't, do check them out. I'm sure you'll find it very valuable. Apart from that, hopefully you enjoyed this conversation. If you'd like to see many more conversations like this with cool people from competitive programming, do subscribe for more videos. See you in the next one.